Silver-eyed witches, silver-eyed slayers. Claymores are called many names in their titular series. The strange eyes of the Claymores in the manga series Claymore is one of their most distinctive features, serving as both a symbol and a marker of their unique physiology. These eyes aren't merely cosmetic, but are deeply tied to their hybrid nature as part human, part Yoma warriors. A Claymore's silver eyes reflect both their internal struggle and the perpetual tension between their human side and the monstrous Yoma essence within them, and in this video, we're definitely going to answer the question, why do Claymores have silver eyes? To do so, we'll have to spoil a few things about the series, so ensure your spoiler hats are fastened tight. Who are the Claymores? How does one recognize a Claymore? In the world of Claymore, the titular characters are women who have undergone a procedure that fuses them with the flesh and blood of Yoma, demonic creatures that feed on human entrails. This fusion grants them incredible strength, speed, healing abilities, and other superhuman powers, but it comes at the cost of their humanity. Claymores are created through a specialized process where their bodies are cut open from the front. This cut, called the stigmata, usually runs from the neckline to the mons pubis of a Claymore warrior and is both the seal of their duty and a reminder of their monstrous existence. Human women become Claymores when the flesh of a Yoma is transplanted within their bodies, and the opening cavity for this transplant is the stigmata. This wound never quite heals, making the abdomen of a Claymore their weak spot, considering the fact that it tethers their human and inhuman halves. The silver eyes are the first visible indication of their transformation. Unlike normal humans whose eye colors vary widely, Claymores all have a uniform silver gaze despite coming from all regions of the known world. This is a consequence of the Yoma energy, referred to as yoki, coursing through their veins. On an anatomical level, the silver color of the Claymore's eyes is a reflection of the changes their bodies undergo due to Yoma infusion. It alters their physical structure down to the cellular level, giving them pale flesh, platinum blonde hair, and their infamous silver eyes. The silver hue likely results from changes in the pigmentation of the iris caused by the presence of yoki. Normally, eye color in humans is determined by the amount and type of pigments in the iris, with melanin playing the most significant role. In Claymores, however, the infusion of Yoma essence disrupts this natural process, bleaching the pigmentation and robbing the entire body of its natural coloring, giving their eyes a metallic sheen. This change isn't superficial, it indicates that their very biology has been altered to the point where even the color of their eyes is no longer dictated by human genetics, but by the influence of the monster within them. This transformation is also a clear delineation between the Claymores and normal humans. In the world of Claymore, these warriors are feared and ostracized by the people they protect because of their hybrid status. A Claymore warrior need only eat once in a couple of days. They sleep based on the necessity in the moment as opposed to having a fixed sleep schedule. They can walk for days without tiring and can wield the typically two-handed Claymore swords with a single hand. All these changes make them less than human, and their appearance is further proof of the same. Their silver eyes mark them as otherworldly, as beings that are no longer fully human. They're seen as half monsters, recognized as both protectors and a necessary evil to keep the other monsters at bay. The silver eyes serve as a constant reminder of the gulf that exists between them and the humans they once were. It's a visual cue that separates them from humanity, reinforcing their isolation and inhuman nature because usually, Claymores operate in units of one. Even amongst themselves, the silver eyes are a unifying feature that underscores their shared fate. They're all bound by the same destiny, marked by the same eyes, and driven by the same Yoma-infused purpose. Even in a holy city like Rabona, where all things mystical are banned from entering, the silver eyes of a Claymore are well known and can draw swift retaliation without good contacts. There are other ways to identify a Claymore, of course. Each Claymore is given a personalized insignia that has been used to track them down many a time in the series. Their armor and swords are dead giveaways, and once people see them in action, it's hard to deny their true nature. But the only real identifier of a Claymore warrior is their eyes. Sometimes, when a Claymore candidate doesn't fully sync up with their Yoma, they can have characteristics that mimic that of regular humans. Clarice, who replaced Claire as number 47 after the 7-year time skip, retains her original hair and skin color. The only reason her comrades recognize her as one of them is because of her eyes, which prove her status as a Claymore. The eyes, being a window to the soul, reflect the cold, inhuman power that now resides within them. The silver of their eyes symbolizes their detachment from the warmth and color of human life, hinting at the alien nature that lurks beneath the surface. We've seen this nature take over many a Claymore during the series, with Ophelia being the prime example. Ophelia awakened after her first face-off with Claire, but she was unaware of it until they fought again and she caught a glimpse of herself in a lake. Her awakened personality wasn't far off from her original one, and, in Ophelia's case, the taboos associated with Claymores held true. She was a serial killer that slaughtered humans and Claymores alike, deriving her sense of purpose from hunting down awakened beings. When she realized she'd become one herself, she begged Claire to finish the job, because she wanted to die while her humanity was still in control of her actions. We bring this up to substantiate the extreme relevance of the perception of a Claymore and what role their eye color plays in it. After all, there's a reason they're called the silver-eyed witches and not the silver-haired witches. But this is the anatomical reason behind a Claymore's silver eyes. When Yoma body parts are implanted within them, their bodies lose their natural pigmentation, which in turn births their silver eyes. A Claymore's eyes don't remain silver throughout their lives, however. There are a couple of circumstances that can change that fact, and we'll now be discussing those. What is the symbolism of a Claymore's silver eyes? What does their eye color change? The symbolism of the silver eyes extends beyond mere appearance and anatomy. Silver is a color often associated with the moon, purity, and coldness across multiple major world religions. In the context of the Claymores, it represents purity in the most twisted sense, the purity of having a single purpose in life. Claymores are created and trained for but one goal: to hunt and destroy Yoma. Thanks to their own partially Yoma nature, they're the only ones that can recognize and destroy Yoma when they're on a mission. Regular humans have to do their best just to stay away from these creatures, and more often than not, they end up becoming prey for the Yoma. The color silver, devoid of the warm hues associated with life, underscores their function as tools of destruction rather than beings of warmth or emotion. This in turn makes them cold-natured, much like the dark side of the moon. Claymores do get attached to one another. It's not like they can't feel emotions at all, but their primary reason for existing is to hunt down Yoma, and most Claymores don't live beyond half a decade as a result. This purity of purpose also hints at their inevitable loss of humanity, as their lives revolve solely around killing. The human aspects of compassion, love, and even fear gradually erode, unless a Claymore makes conscious and constant efforts to keep those parts of herself alive. The silver eyes are thus a constant reminder of what they've lost and what they've become. They erase individual distinctions, reducing them to mere tools of the organization that created them. This enforced uniformity is part of what dehumanizes them, stripping away the personal and replacing it with the collective. They're no longer individuals, but soldiers in a war, their eyes reflecting not their personal emotions, but the cold metallic purpose for which they were created. This is why many in the organization see the twins Alicia and Beth as the perfect Claymores, because they can control that which they see as being uncontrollable in others. Alicia can fight a dozen awakened beings by awakening herself, while Beth keeps her consciousness from slipping away and going rogue. Together, they're the perfect weapon for the organization, but the fact that neither sister has a personality or even an identity to speak of is reflective of the organization's true perception of Claymores. They're disposable, unless they become entirely obedient. And even then, they're not treated as human beings, but as nuclear warheads with minds. This becomes even more evident when a Claymore's eyes change color. The color of a Claymore's eyes isn't just an indicator of their inhumanity, it also serves as an indicator of their state of being. Under normal circumstances, a Claymore's eyes remain silver. However, when a Claymore starts to draw upon their yoki to enhance their abilities in battle, the color of their eyes shifts from silver to gold, with a cat-like slit replacing the latter's iris. This change occurs because as they tap into their Yoma power, the yoki energy floods their system, bringing them closer to their monstrous half. The implications of this eye color change are profound. On a surface level, it provides a visual cue to the audience and other characters about the state of the Claymore. A shift from silver to gold signals that the warrior is pushing her limits, that she's drawing too close to the dangerous edge where her humanity might be lost forever. For the Claymores themselves, the change is a visceral reminder of the stakes involved in every fight. They know that the more they rely on their Yoma powers, the closer they come to becoming the very monsters they hunt. The silver eyes are thus both a symbol of their restraint and a warning of the potential for disaster. Yoma have cat-like golden eyes, so when a Claymore sports them, it symbolizes the unleashing of the beast within, a warning that they're beginning to lose control over their humanity. Awakening is the process by which a Claymore fully succumbs to their Yoma side, losing their human consciousness and becoming an awakened being, a monstrous creature far more powerful than an ordinary Yoma. When a Claymore reaches a critical threshold of yoki usage, their body begins to change, and their eyes, which were once silver, turn gold. In an awakened state, a Claymore's strength, speed, and regenerative abilities are all heightened. They can take on squadrons of Yoma and worse threats solo when awakened, but at the steep cost of edging closer to the point of no return and awakening. This irreversible transformation is the ultimate fear for all Claymores, as it signifies the complete loss of their humanity. The Black Card system was set up to prevent this exact eventuality, and on the brink of awakening, a Claymore will often prefer death over power. The Silver Eyes are thus a fragile barrier between them and the abyss of monstrosity, a reminder of the fine line they walk every time they engage in battle. They highlight the duality within each Claymore. They're both human and monster, walking a tightrope between the two. The eyes, which remain silver in their human state, turn gold when the monster inside them begins to surface. This duality is a central theme of the series, exploring the tension between the human and the inhuman, the struggle to maintain one's identity in the face of overwhelming power, and the fear of losing oneself to darkness. The eyes serve as a metaphor for this inner conflict, a visible manifestation of the battle being fought within each warrior. The fact that the eyes return to silver after the Yoki is suppressed suggests that their humanity can be regained, but only if they're strong enough to pull back from the brink. Furthermore, the silver eyes serve as a constant reminder of the Claymore's mortality. While their powers make them nearly invincible compared to ordinary humans, they're still ultimately doomed. The process of becoming a Claymore is irreversible. There's no cure, no return to normalcy, and their average lifespan is anywhere between 3 and 5 years at best. The Silver Eyes are a permanent mark, a sign that they can never go back to who they once were, which is fine with most Claymores because they were rescued by the organization from far worse fates. The only time a Claymore's eyes change color is when they take suppressant pills, which are crucial for conducting covert missions. When a Claymore takes suppressants, their physical appearance returns to what it was like before they were transformed. Their powers are negated, and humans can't distinguish them from other humans for the most part. But as soon as the effects of the suppressants start wearing off, their silver eyes return, reminding them that there was no escaping their predicament. This sense of inevitability, of being marked for death or worse, haunts the Claymores throughout the series. It adds a layer of tragedy to their existence as they're forced to live with the knowledge that they're walking a path that ends in only death or awakening. The Silver Eyes, in this context, are a symbol of their cursed fate, a fate that they have no choice but to accept. Marvelous verdict! The Silver Eyes of the Claymores are a multifaceted symbol that encapsulates the essence of their existence. Anatomically, they reflect the profound changes wrought by the infusion of Yoma flesh, serving as a marker of their hybrid nature. Symbolically, they represent the cold purity of purpose, the loss of humanity, and the constant tension between the human and the monstrous. The Silver-Eyed Slayers are revered and feared in equal measure on Claymore Island, and we hope now you guys understand why eye color is such a huge part of their lives. Now that we've said our piece, we want to hear yours. Let us know your thoughts on Claymore Eyes in the comments section down below. This is Wizard Wheezy signing off for now, but you can always find me on Twitch. Like and share this video and subscribe to our channel for more Claymore content, and we'll see you guys in the next one.